Toxic people hate your confidence. They truly do. And I'm not saying everybody hates your confidence. I'm saying toxic people. So if you're not toxic, I'm not talking about you then. But toxic people hate your confidence. And I think a lot of times what people want is to hear others say things like, I hate my life, or oh, I hate myself, stuff like that, right? So that they can swoop in and say, no, you need to have some confidence in yourself. You need to, think positive. Think positive about yourself. Say good things to yourself. Do morning affirmations. Chin up, bucko, just things like that so that they can feel like they are contributing to your self-acceptance, your self-worth, or your uplifting, situation, whatever it is, right? And but let you come around with some confidence, with your chin up, bucko, with your eyes lit up and bright. All of a sudden is, who told her she was pretty? Who she think she is? Why he coming up in here thinking he running stuff? Oh, he think he better than us, huh? It's just random. Now all of a sudden you're arrogant. You're conceited, and they find a problem in that. So they feel like they have to humble you. And it's crazy to me the way that people will switch up on you like that. One moment is, you gotta get some confidence. You need to have some confidence in yourself. And then someone will go online and be confident and, say to themselves, I love myself. I have all of these flaws. I may not be perfect. Nobody's perfect, but I have enough confidence in myself to show up and to be there or be the voice for people or to tell my problems and, hopefully someone else can relate and whatever it is, right? And now you've got other people saying, who do you think you are? It'll be like somebody who is, someone who's fat, right? Someone who is big boned, getting online, wearing the same outfit as someone who is petite. Why? I don't know why, but let's just say it's by the same designer, but just, same outfit, two different sizes. Nothing wrong with that. And they'll tell the petite one, oh my gosh, you look gorgeous, you look beautiful. And then they'll tell the one that's big boned, you're so brave. You're brave. And I'm just giving an example out, the way that people will demonize certain statements or try to, I think there's a term for it where they give a backhanded compliment, stuff like that. And I saw an account, a channel of this girl, who's a mosquito, this girl who is talking about dark-skinned women. She's like bashing dark-skinned women, bashing fat people. And I'm like, wow, this is like the epitome of low-level thinking. This is like extreme insecurity, deep-rooted insecurity to go and bash people in the way that they look. You know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you that same person behind the channel, like when they log off the channel, they will tell their friends, oh, chin up, chin up, get some confidence. You gotta have more self-esteem. You've got to know your worth. I'll be here for you. I'm here for you if you need me, stuff like that, right? Because they want that. Toxic people want to be the one that tells you got to have confidence in yourself. But if you already show up with confidence, all of a sudden now you are being aggressive. All of a sudden now you need to be humbled because now you're being arrogant. Now you are conceited. Now you're being self-absorbed and vain. You probably think this video is about you. It is just amazing to me, human behavior. You might see this in your friend group or in your family, and especially like family. Like if you visit family, long distance, you hadn't seen them in a long time, and there's a reason you hadn't seen them for a long time, and you go to them and they knew who you used to be, Maybe you used to be Shy Sheila or something. You know what I mean? They used to call you that growing up. And Sheila has grown into becoming this woman who is now, goal oriented, take charge, very confident in herself. And you come in and you're just like, hey, everybody. And they're like, is that you, Shy Sheila? And everybody is just surprised. And you have this new confidence in yourself and they want to immediately bash you. Oh, you think you better than us? Oh, you think you this and that? Even at work, like if you start a brand new job and it's like you got hired on because of your skills, a lot of times depending on the field that you're in. Some people like when you don't have skills or the work history because they can kind of like build you up into whatever type of employee they need you to be. But a lot of different places, especially like healthcare, stuff like that, where there's a lot of documentation or maybe tech support or whatever, right? They're going to ask you, do you have these type of skills? Because a lot of times you're replacing somebody and they don't really want to have to go through the teaching process, because hiring somebody on and having to reteach them costs a lot of money for the business. So you get hired on because you know these skills, but there's always that one coworker that wants to be the teacher. They want to give themselves a second role for at their job. They were hired on to just do one thing, but they decided to take on a second role of being the teacher for all new employees, and nobody asked them to do this. They just decided to do it. And so they want to feel like they're needed, and they will, oh, here you go, you got to do this, you got to do that, you know how to do this. And if you're just like, yeah, I'm familiar with this. I used to use this at my last job, or I know this documentation software, whatever, right? And some people, if they're toxic, okay, most people won't be offended by that. But if they're toxic, they will get offended by that. They don't like the confidence. Oh, you think you know everything, huh? You trying to take my job? Now all of a sudden they think you're trying to take their job. Are you replacing me? Did they say anything to you about me on the interview? Why would they talk about you at the interview? Who are you? Are you even in this department? So it's just kind of like people don't really like toxic people. Don't like somebody who has confidence in themselves, who already has their chin up, already knows their self-worth, already isn't a people pleaser. They know what they want, they go after it. Stuff like that. They don't like that. They want you to be helpless. They want you to be just in a state of, I hate my life. I don't love myself. They want you to stay in that state so they can be like, oh, I completely understand. I understand. You got to have some more confidence in yourself. You've got to push past it. You've got to move forward, But a lot of times people already have the confidence. They just don't need to display it. They don't need to be, and that usually the sign of being overly confident, or not the sign of, but like somebody being overly confident usually is a sign of some kind of deep-rooted insecurity. They're just trying to compensate for their lack of whatever they feel that they're lacking. They overcompensate by being overly confident. And it's like, nah, you ain't got to do all of that. You can calm down, simmer down now, simmer down now. And I think that a lot of times people mistake being confident with being arrogant and being fake, because especially in this day and age with social media, and you have a lot of people that give off the fake confidence, and so they go about thinking that what is confidence is actually being fake or arrogant. And then when somebody is being arrogant, pretty much narcissistic, they are saying that they are just confident in themselves. It's like they're mixing up the differences in it. So when you are constantly being rewarded for being narcissistic, constantly being rewarded for giving off a false sense of confidence and being overly confident, and that causes society to want to gravitate more toward showing up in that way. Now you've got a whole bunch of people running around being fake confident, pretending to be confident and not actually being confident in themselves. And, a lot of times you can tell when somebody's truly confident in themselves because they don't have this need of having to be validated on social media, or this need to be validated even in their own lives, like with the people around them. They can go to the grocery store and have their hair put up in a crazy bun and put some slippers on and be like, I'm just in here to get some toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to look good for anybody. Not like that. I'm going to be in here for like 2 minutes, And, you got some people that are like, no, you're supposed to dress up everywhere you go. You never know. You might meet Mr. Right. Not while I'm trying to buy toilet paper. You know what I mean? Like, and personally, if I am in a rush to go grab some toilet paper from the grocery store and I look a mess, just leave me alone. Leave me alone. I am that confident enough, at least, to be like, just leave me alone. There's a reason I'm rushing. Anyway, let me know if y'all have ever experienced it. Write it in the comments. Let me know if, like, you've known somebody where 1 minute it's like they're there, Captain Save a Friend, talking about you got to have confidence in yourself, and then the very next moment you show up with confidence, and they're just like, girl, bye. Let me know in the comments, and guys too. I'm pretty sure y'all have a different verbiage that you use and different ways that you show it, or you notice that envious or jealous guy, bro, friend, whatever, and they do it in a different way. Let us know in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Bye.